What if Belle had a girlfriend when she was abducted by the Beast? What if she and the Beast made out every night? What if Belle was killed by her jealous sisters? A German variant of Beauty and the Beast features these very twists. Welcome to Beauty and the Zoo, a series where I, Liz, am sharing various fairy tales where people marry animals and beasts. This is called Little Broomstick.
Fucked up fairy tales with Liz.
Ding! Netchen was the name of the youngest, prettiest, most modest daughter of a merchant. Beauty and the Beast aficionados will be familiar with this opener. But not only did our Beauty have two older, uglier, greedy sisters, she had a dear girlfriend named Little Broomstick. See, Little Broomstick was the daughter of a poor broom binder. Yes, they were so poor they couldn't even afford to name their kid. Despite the class difference, Netchen and Broomstick were tighter than a hung man's lederhosen. The time came that the merchant had business abroad and asked his daughters what they'd like for a present. Naturally, the old ugly ones requested big jewelry, while Netchen asked for a red rose with 3 buds on one stem. The narrator calls this request modest, but considering its specificity and the fact that it was winter, is that actually a modest request? Well, you know what happens next. The merchant stumbles into a mysterious castle on his way home, plucks the requested rose from its garden, and is set upon by a terrifying beast. In this version, the beast has a long, ugly snout, ears hanging down, and a shaggy coat and tail and long claws, which sounds a lot like Snuffleupagus through a horror filter. The beast promised the merchant could keep his life if he promised Netchen to him in marriage within 7 months. Instead of coming clean to Netchen, the merchant simply grounded her, only allowing Little Broomstick to visit. And Little Broomy was visiting when, 7 months later, a carriage showed up with a strange servant who handed the merchant a note that said, "Don't forget your debt." So the merchant invited Little Broomstick to join him on the porch, then pointed at her and said, "That's my daughter," and let the servant abduct his daughter's girlfriend. Wow. Now the beast received Little Broomstick and immediately saw through the catfish. He sent her home, and Netchen was sent to the beast. She was scared, but the castle was beautiful, the servants were kind, and she was treated like a princess. Color her shocked when she woke up in the middle of the night and found the big ol' hairy, mammothly beast in bed next to her. She stifled her scream. The creature, though, was merely sleeping and not about to eat her, so Netchen did her best to just let things be. And the beast became her nightly sleeping companion, and before long, they were spooning, and before longer, they were kissing with snout. One night, the beast never showed at all, and Netchen found him unconscious in the garden. She fell upon him, crying, and the act transformed the beast into his human form. It turns out he was cursed by a sorceress when he refused to marry a woman he didn't love. How dare he? His curse could only be broken if an innocent virgin grew to love him and cried for him. So I guess they didn't do more than, hand stuff when he was a mammoth. The two were married, and eventually Netchen's father grew ill. And since the whole beast cure thing was out of the way, they just brought Netchen's family to the castle, where they nursed her father back to health with a healing sap. Problem was, Netchen's sisters were still straight-up jealous D-bags. One night, they followed Netchen into the bath and drowned her. Suddenly, this ferocious magic lady appeared from out of nowhere, and she immediately rose Netchen from the dead, and then she turned to her sisters. "I am the sorceress who transformed the prince," she fumed, "and you two heartless hoes are about to pay." Netchen pled for mercy on her sister's behalf, which, don't do that, they killed you. The sorceress had a creative idea. "How about I curse them similarly to the prince," she suggested. I'll put them into another form until a man falls in love with them." Netchen agreed. So the sorceress turned her sisters into stone columns, which they remained until the end of time, because no man has ever fallen in love with a load-bearing structure. As for Little Broomstick, the one this fairy tale is named after for some reason, she remained Netchen's most faithful girlfriend for the rest of their days. And if I were cursed to be a woolly mammoth, I too would be cool with my curse-breaking wife keeping me as a side piece to her main squeeze. The end. If you don't want to wait until my next video for more Beauty and the Beast animal relationship type fairy tales, you gotta pick up my book, Fucked Up Fairy Tales. There is a clam wife, there is a cat wife, there is a donkey husband, there is a fish husband, there's even more than that. You can get it wherever books are sold.